Hi, everybody. Well, we have another cruise from Royal Caribbean, this time the Navigator of the Seas, and she's offering people to cancel their cruise again because they're oversold. Why do cruise ships keep getting oversold? I'll explain. So, in most people's minds, you have a finite amount of cabins on a cruise ship, right? This is it. This is how many we have. We cannot sell more than we have, right? That should not be allowed. Except there's the trick, and cruise lines offer a cabin choice that doesn't have an assigned cabin. The guaranteed stateroom, right? Which often comes a little cheaper than assigning and choosing your cabin location. So these guaranteed are not assigned. And so these are floating out there, waiting to be assigned by the cruise line. And what they're waiting for is cancellations. People who cancel at the last minute, people who cancel after final payment is due, those kind of things. And if there's not enough cancellations, that's when they get oversold. And lately, there's been a lot that are, with the price of cruise lines nowadays and, the rising costs, people are not putting off their cruises. They've been doing them now and they don't want to, I'll cancel this one and we'll go next year because who knows what the prices will be next year. So they tend to be going and they're not canceling because they paid so much money for them. Well, here's the quandary, right? We now have oversold. So now they're doing these offers. Now, the Allure of the Seas twice this year already has been reported oversold. We have the Liberty of the Seas been oversold. The Navigator a couple times now has been oversold. It's not only Royal Caribbean, but lately it's Royal Caribbean in the news, probably because they have the largest cruise ships in the world, right? And those tend to have more passengers, so they can get oversold more. Although you would think with more space, more room, they would have this problem less. Now, they do offer, usually, pretty darn good offers. For instance, this time for the Navigator of the Seas, they are offering a full refund and 100% future cruise credit if you choose to cancel altogether. If you choose one of their other sailings that they list when they send out the email, your price is guaranteed, so your cabin price doesn't change. You will get a 50% refund and 100% future cruise credit. So people are saying, well, why wouldn't you, if you're going to take that sailing, why wouldn't you just take the 100% future cruise credit and the 100% refund and just book the cruise again? You save 50% of that refund, right? Except the price difference may be much higher. That cruise may have gone way up in price since you booked your cruise over a year ago. So that 50% offer might turn into a 100% savings for the price protection. That's why there's those two choices. Otherwise, there would just be the cancel and get all your money back or move down and get 100% refund kind of thing. But good offers, but this keeps happening. Now, people get worried now when all this is coming to light and saying, is my cabin going to be canceled? Can I, luckily, usually these move offers are so good that a lot of people jump on them. And they will do them, especially last minute cruises, people who can move their timetable, retired people can switch around. They'll jump on these offers because they get all their money back and they get a free cruise. What's not to like about that, right? What's not to like about those offers? However, the people who, when you're choosing your cabins, etc., and you choose an exact stateroom, I'm in cabin 11331, you're pretty safe. You've been assigned a cabin. However, if you're the person who chose those guaranteed cabins, you're the ones that are at risk. That's another risk with just because they're guaranteed doesn't mean you're guaranteed to get on the ship. And there have been cases in the past where they didn't have enough move over offers and some people were turned away from the port. This happened a couple years ago. Hasn't happened since, which is good news. they do a pretty good job of regulating this. And it's not only Royal Caribbean. Princess had this happen not too long ago. It's a cruise industry standard, kind of like the American Airlines when they oversell their flights, and then you hear offers being made of, hey, we are oversold. If you want to fly on tonight's flight instead, we will give you $300. That kind of offer, right? Well, cruise lines are a little different. It's different to sit there and wait, 6 hours more for a flight and still get home than it is to move your entire vacation plans. That could be a whole different kettle of fish, right? But it's happening more and more, and people are getting worried. So if you want to make sure that you are not involved in any of these moves and stuff like that, and make sure you have a cabin, don't choose the guaranteed cabin. Choose your cabin with a cabin number, assigned stateroom, and then you should be fine going forward. If you roll the dice with a guaranteed cabin, you don't only get the risk where you're going to be on the ship, you also get the risk of you might come across that situation where you're that one person who doesn't have a cabin when you get to your ship.